My wife kept pressuring me for an open relationship. Turns out she was already cheating, so I opened up with divorce instead. I've been married to Dee for 5 years, and we are both in our mid-30s. Last year, Dee told me she thinks she's into women too, and would like to explore having a relationship with one. I asked if she wanted to explore it as a casual fling or a real relationship, to which she replied, an actual relationship. She felt she had so much love to share, but my concern was whether she had enough time to share it. I said I wasn't on board, and I thought the subject was closed. About 4 months ago, Dee brought it up again, and said she would be happy with just a friends with benefits arrangement, not an actual relationship. I was still hesitant, but it was a constant topic that kept coming up. I relented under the condition that we do our research beforehand. This included reading books, listening to podcasts, and seeing a couples counselor before opening up. Dee was ecstatic, and together, we dove into several books and found a great therapist. One of the topics our therapist brought up was why we were opening up and if there was someone either of us had in mind. Dee admitted that she had someone she had been talking to who had encouraged her to open our relationship. This was a shock to hear for the first time, and our therapist said this was troublesome. After that first session, I confronted Dee and asked if she had done more than talk to this friend, and she swore that was all they had done. I asked to see her phone, and she unlocked it and handed it to me. She had been talking with Kim for about a year, but there wasn't anything incriminating, and no apparent gap in the messages, just a two-way crush between them. There was a message from Kim right before Dee started really pressing me to open the relationship, where Kim told Dee to initiate bedroom intimacy with me more often to soften me up. Something I did find concerning was that there were 3 dating apps with Dee's profile already on her phone. This caused a brief argument, and it ended with Dee agreeing to delete the apps until after we were actually open. 3 months passed, and we were getting closer to opening up, with Dee acting like it was Christmas time. In our last counseling session, we went over our agreements and boundaries, and we delved into our messy list, people who we wouldn't sleep with for the sake of our relationship, aka co-workers, relatives, close friends, exes, and I wanted to add Kim to the list. Dee blew up, especially when our therapist said it was a reasonable request. Dee wouldn't speak to me on the way home, but when we got there, she let me have it. I even showed her in 2 of the books we had read where it said that opening up for a specific person was a bad idea. I basically said it was a line in the sand for me, and I would be just as happy remaining monogamous. She got mad, slept in the spare bedroom, and hardly talked to me for 2 days. Finally, she gave in and agreed to Kim being on the messy list, and we were officially open. A couple of days later, Dee told me she had a date, and it seemed a bit quick to me. While she was in the shower, I decided to check her phone, but the unlock code had changed. That's 2 red flags. Later that day, she got on her phone, and I saw the unlock code. That night, I looked at her phone. The dating apps were still gone, but there were messages between her and Kim trash-talking me and planning their date. There were also references to having bedroom intimacy again. I emailed screenshots to my phone. So, I felt like a chump, and the 2 of them played me like a fiddle. I stewed on it all night and part of the next day, then I called a lawyer and had him start drawing up divorce papers. The lawyer was a peach. Not only did he put a rush on it, but they served Dee at our house just 2 hours before her date with Kim. Attached to the divorce papers was a printout of the last texts I read. She found me sitting on the patio. She was crying, but I didn't know if they were fake tears or not. When she asked, I lied and said I knew about it all along. I said it just means we won't be married anymore, and you can have the freedom to sleep with whoever you want, whenever you want. Just think of us as friends with benefits. I got up to go have dinner with some friends and told her she needed to hurry and fix her face if she was going to be at Kim's house on time. She got home earlier than I thought she would and wanted to talk, but I went to bed and said we could talk tomorrow. Her eyes were all red, and her makeup was all smeared. I still felt gutted, but I wasn't going to let her see that. Update 1. The next morning started off on a negative note. I asked her if Kim was worth throwing the last 5 years of our marriage into the gutter. Then I started reading some of the texts where Kim and she were planning to open our marriage and have bedroom intimacy again, and some of the disparaging remarks about me between them. So when I found all this out, I started planning a divorce since she lied and then broke our agreements, especially about the messy list, which I considered cheating. Dee said she was still very much in love with me and didn't want a divorce. She wanted to go back to our marriage counselor and work things out. I told her I couldn't be married to a liar and a cheater, and she was the one who burnt down that pledge, and now we just need to move on. If we could be civil about it, I was open to a roommate with benefits arrangement, and we could cohabitate and split the bills 50-50. Since we wouldn't be married any longer, we would both be free to part ways at any time without any strings attached. She is determined to win my trust back and show me how much she still loves me. Hopefully, our therapist can help us form a new set of rules as roommates, and we will see where things go from here. Mini update. I hear what all the comments are saying, but at this point, I can't legally just kick her out. However, I have got our finances separated, all the credit cards cancelled, and half of the money has been moved to a separate account. I told Dee she could stay on my insurance until the first of the year. Our regular counseling session is on Tuesday, and I have already emailed our therapist with a heads up on our relationship change. I moved all of Dee's things into the spare bedroom. The last couple of days, I've been love spammed. Dee wants to pump the brakes now on the open relationship and put the divorce on hold. I let her know that both of those ships have sailed, and we would just have to ride them out and see where they take us, but it is unlikely that we would get back to where we were. Last night she got all made up and put on my favorite outfit. Probably some of the hottest bedroom intimacy we ever had, including her initiating a couple of things that were on her taboo list, and then more this morning when we woke up. I gotta say that my friends have really been there for me these last 6 months. Most of them have been encouraging me to stay steady on the divorce. My sister-in-law has told me recently that her sister has had a crush on me for the longest time and wants to set me up with her. Update 2. Okay, I'm throwing in the towel. After the last 2 counseling sessions, Dee finally admitted she cheated and lied about her affair with Kim, but still doesn't show any remorse or that she feels like what she did wasn't that bad. She still tries to blame me for being controlling and dragging my feet on opening up. In our last session, I gave her an ultimatum with 3 choices. We go back to monogamy, no contact with Kim, no divorce. We go poly, no contact with Kim, proceed with divorce, and cohabitate. We split, she can keep Kim, separation, and divorce. Dee thinks we can work out option 2 and still keep Kim, but once again, I told her I felt like Kim instigated all this, and her presence was a deal breaker for me. I'm still being love spammed at home and pressured to give in to her desired outcome. I have been quietly looking at condos near downtown with the thought of moving out and letting her have the house for the next 6 months until the lease is up. I told her I wasn't going to Thanksgiving at her family's this Friday and was going to my parents Thursday without her. I said, tell them whatever you want, but I was telling my family the truth, which upset her. Her sister did text me about if anything was wrong, and I told her Dee had an affair with another woman, and we were getting a divorce. My hope is to be out before Christmas. If she spends the night or the weekend with Kim, I can be out before she realizes it.